好，我现在把车锁了。
Okay, I'm locking the car now. It's starting to park itself. Oh, no, look, there's another car here. Let's see what it does. What if it hits it? If it does, at least we'll know what to watch out for. Alright, it's parking. Wait a second. This happened during a live stream on February 15th when a female presenter from a BYD dealership was demonstrating the automatic parking feature of the BYD Seal. While the car was trying to park, a black sedan drove by, and the two cars nearly collided. The driver of the black car was so scared, they kept honking their horn. The BYD Seal is equipped with a so-called God's Eye intelligent driving system. But after watching the video, some viewers joked, "Is God's eye blind? And why didn't it open its eyes?" So, did the BYD actually hit the black sedan? The video didn't show what happened next. However, some people online think the car did hit it. One person commented, if there was no collision, the dealership probably would have posted a follow-up video to clarify right away. The fact that they didn't makes me think it really happened. The dealership has more reason than anyone else to prove there was no accident. Others said, people should still be cautious when it comes to BYD's self-driving system. If something goes wrong, it could turn into a nightmare. On February 10th, BYD announced that its God's Eye advanced driving system would be rolled out across all 21 models in its lineup. The company called this move the start of a self-driving era for everyone. According to BYD, the God's Eye system is divided into 3 levels, A, B, and C. These levels are installed in different brands under the BYD umbrella, including Yangwang, Denza, and the BYD main brand. Not everyone is convinced. Huawei's executive director and head of its automotive business unit, Yu Chengdong, took a jab at BYD on social media on February 11th. He wrote, "There's a huge difference between self-driving that just works and self-driving that works well and safely." That same night, Great Wall Motors chairman Wei Jianjun chimed in, saying, "Self-driving isn't just for show. Real-world testing is what proves its reliability." Industry experts say these comments from Yu Chengdong and Wei Jianjun reflect the growing competition in China's smart car market. Meanwhile, many drivers are raising concerns about BYD's self-driving capabilities. Some complain that the lane centering feature often fails, causing the car to swerve. Others say the speed limit detection is inaccurate, sometimes falsely warning drivers about speeding. There are also reports of the automatic braking system not kicking in when needed, forcing drivers to intervene at the last second.
比亚迪把基础的辅助驾驶包装成高阶驾驶。
A popular car reviewer with 4.8 million followers on Douyin posted a video criticizing BYD. He said, BYD is marketing basic driver assist features as advanced self-driving. It's like calling a 4G network 5G to fool customers. The cars under 100,000 yuan only have cameras and millimeter wave radar with hardware and algorithms that aren't reliable enough for safe, hands-free driving. They've managed to add these features to cars priced under 70,000 yuan, but safety is no joke. Self-driving systems come with clear responsibility levels. Entry-level systems require drivers to stay alert and take control when needed. If BYD markets these as high-level systems and drivers get the wrong idea, who will take responsibility if something goes wrong?
BYD's smart driving upgrade has triggered frustration among its older customers. Many of them have come together to file a collective complaint. The company is now facing one of its biggest PR crises ever. Just days after BYD held a press conference to promote its new God's Eye intelligent driving system, a public statement from these longtime customers started circulating online. In the statement, they accused BYD of selling old models while knowing newer ones were on the way. They claimed the company hid information about product updates and used misleading sales tactics. They also point out that the launch of the new smart driving system has caused older models to lose significant value, about 20,000 yuan on average. The statement even includes a list of compensation requests. According to members of the group, more than 50,000 people joined the complaint chat group within just 48 hours. On consumer complaint platforms like Chezhiwang and Black Cat complaints, BYD owners have been speaking out. Data shows that between February 10th and 16th, BYD received more than 4,500 new complaints, most of them related to the gap between old and new product features. One car owner involved in the complaints explained, "Most BYD customers are just regular working families. I bought my car less than 6 months ago, and its value has already dropped by tens of thousands of yuan. Now, I realize I won't get access to the new smart driving features in the coming years. It feels like we've been left behind, even though we supported BYD's electric development with our hard-earned money." Market reaction suggests that BYD's decision to treat new and old customers differently is damaging the brand's reputation. In addition to the dissatisfaction with the smart driving styling upgrade, many BYD owners have complained about poor quality and a disappointing driving experience. Some say the car's outer shell is thin and prone to corrosion. Others have reported issues like low-quality electronic components, thin paint that chips easily, engine noises, and poor battery performance. Recently, one BYD Dolphin owner shared a surprising experience after snowfall. Guys, look, this is my BYD, and this is my windshield. It's just coming apart by itself. And they say this is the pride of a national brand. Well, at least it's not leaking. The glass is still attached somehow. I guess it's just magnetic. Some viewers joked that this was a special feature of the Dolphin series, a gill-like windshield design that lets drivers manually ventilate the car if it gets too stuffy inside. Others sarcastically suggested it might help passengers escape more easily if the car ever ended up underwater. And then there was a crash earlier this month that raised even more questions about BYD's build quality. On February 6, a Hyundai Reina collided with a BYD Song Plus. The accident quickly became one of the most talked about car crashes of 2025 so far. Photos from the scene show the Hyundai with damage only to its front bumper and a tilted front wheel. But the BYD Song Plus, known as a road tank in its marketing, didn't fare nearly as well. Its side panel was caved in, the rear left axle was broken, and one of the wheels was lying half detached on the ground, with fluids leaking all over the street. Curious about the outcome, some car enthusiasts dug into the safety specs of both vehicles. What they found was surprising. The BYD Song Plus is 400 kilograms heavier than the Hyundai Reina. On paper, it should have held up better in the crash. The Hyundai's body frame contains just 62% high-strength steel, much less than BYD's claims of super 5-star safety. Yet the lighter car came out stronger. Outraged viewers flooded the comment section. One person wrote, "Forget about national pride. How about building a car that can survive a crash with a Hyundai first?" On February 15th, a BYD owner from Heilongjiang province shared their frustration. They said their car started having multiple problems less than 40 days after buying it. They compared it to their old Toyota, which ran for 12 years and 200,000 kilometers without needing a single repair, apart from regular maintenance. At the BYD service center, there was a long line of cars waiting for repairs. The owner said, "Everyone here is getting their car fixed. The staff just can't keep up." For people in the industry, 2025 is expected to be the most competitive year ever for China's auto market. BYD's launch of its God's Eye driving system and its decision to include smart driving features in cars priced under 100,000 yuan is seen as a form of price war, a move to gain more market share. Meanwhile, Tesla, XPeng, and other electric car companies are also rolling out promotions like limited-time insurance subsidies and zero down payment loans, making the market even more competitive. After the Lunar New Year holiday, this price war heated up again. Traditional joint ventures like GAC Toyota and Dongfeng Honda, along with domestic brands like Chery, also introduced limited-time deals. But despite all these promotions, consumers have remained cautious. A recent industry report showed that in January 2025, passenger car sales in China totaled 1.8 million units, down 12.1% compared to last year. Month-on-month, sales dropped by nearly 32%. This cautious consumer sentiment, combined with massive overproduction in the electric car sector, has put manufacturers under increasing pressure. According to official figures, from 2009 to 2022, China poured over 200 billion yuan, about $27 billion into subsidies for electric vehicles. But when those subsidies ended in 2023, domestic demand for electric cars slowed dramatically. As inventories piled up, Chinese EV makers turned to overseas markets, exporting vehicles at lower prices to reduce their stock. Now, with the US and EU both raising tariffs on Chinese EV imports, BYD has set its sights on South Korea. On January 16th, BYD held a brand launch event in Incheon, South Korea. The company announced partnerships with 6 authorized local dealerships and plans to open 15 showrooms and 11 service centers across key cities like Seoul and Jeju Island. BYD started taking orders immediately for the Auto 3, a compact SUV known as the Yuan Plus in China. Deliveries began in February. The company also plans to launch its Seal sedan and the Sea Lion 7 SUV in the Korean market later this year. Additionally, it is considering introducing hybrid models. The Auto 3's base model is priced at 31 million won, roughly $21,000. The upgraded Auto 3 Plus costs 33 million won, about $23,000. $1,000. Local media pointed out that these prices are about 20% cheaper than similar models from Hyundai and Kia, and it seems Korean customers have taken notice. In less than a month, BYD received over 1,000 orders for the Auto 3, half of BYD's total sales in Japan for the entire previous year. Industry experts in South Korea believe this initial response suggests BYD could make a bigger impact than expected. The growing presence of BYD, along with the slowing domestic market, has pushed South Korean automakers into defensive mode. Hyundai and Kia have already reduced EV prices in response. Experts say South Korea's car industry is now entering an unprecedented price war for electric vehicles. Starting on February 5th, Hyundai and Kia reduced prices for 9 of their electric vehicle models. The discounts range from 3 million to 5 million won. Stellantis Korea, BMW Korea, and Mercedes-Benz Korea have also introduced various discounts. As Chinese EV makers like BYD continue to sell cars at lower prices, there's growing pressure within South Korea to increase subsidies for locally made electric vehicles. At a recent roundtable hosted by the National Assembly, researchers from the country's 4 major conglomerates, Samsung, SK, LG, and Hyundai discussed this issue. During the meeting, Kim Gyeon, the head of Hyundai Motor Group's Research Institute, suggested exploring ways to give direct subsidies to South Korean EV manufacturers. He pointed out that the Chinese government has long provided direct financial support to its own EV companies, which has given them the competitive edge. Since BYD entered the South Korean market this January, concerns about connected car security have resurfaced. Connected cars, which link to the internet and can share data with both internal and external devices, are becoming more common. But in South Korea, some worry these cars could expose users' personal data, especially since the country's legal framework for such technology is still incomplete. BYD's Auto 3, for instance, comes with wireless phone mirroring, over-the-air navigation updates, and other internet-connected features. Some fear that these features might collect and transmit sensitive information back to China. BYD Korea has tried to ease these concerns by promising that any data collected in South Korea will not be shared with its headquarters in China. However, the company confirmed that the data is stored on Tencent cloud servers, which belong to a Chinese company. This detail has fueled concerns among South Korean customers about potential privacy risks. Meanwhile, Chinese automakers like BYD and Geely are now teaming up with DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup, to integrate more advanced features into their vehicles. DeepSeek's low-cost AI solutions could help these companies push the price of smart driving systems even lower, intensifying the competition. However, DeepSeek has already been banned in multiple countries over safety and data security concerns. A recent survey by K-Car, South Korea's largest direct used car platform, revealed that South Korean consumers are generally skeptical of Chinese car brands. When asked about the arrival of companies like BYD, only 11.6% responded positively. Over half, 51.8%, expressed negative views. The biggest concerns were about product quality and durability, with 62.2% of respondents voicing doubts in these areas. Another 54.4% said they were worried about the car's safety. Since 2023, China's auto market has been locked in an intense price war. Every year, more and more models hit the market, but prices just keep getting lower. This pattern is unsustainable for car manufacturers in the long run. To protect their own industries from China's low-priced EV exports, many countries have taken action. Last September, the Biden administration quadrupled tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, raising them to 100%. More recently, the Trump administration added another 10%. In Europe, the EU introduced anti-subsidy tariffs on Chinese EVs last October, with rates going as high as 45%. Taiwanese economist Huang Shicong commented, Chinese car manufacturers might try to set up factories in the US to get around these tariffs. It remains to be seen if that strategy will work. But I think leaders around the world, including Trump, now understand the importance of protecting their domestic auto industries. The car industry is like a locomotive for a country's economy, so governments are going to protect it. China's EV makers will face increasing pressure to sell their products overseas, but the concerns go far beyond pricing. Cars with Chinese-made internet-connected systems are seen as potential security risks. In January, the U.S. Commerce Department issued a ban on importing and selling connected car hardware, software, and even complete vehicles from China and Russia. Officials said the ban is meant to protect critical supply chains and safeguard national security. According to the announcement, these systems could be exploited for espionage and cyber attacks that might target key infrastructure and public safety in the U.S. When the ban was first proposed, then National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said there was compelling evidence that malicious software had already been pre-installed in some critical infrastructure. He warned that with millions of cars on the road, each lasting 10 to 15 years, the potential for sabotage and cyber attacks could only grow. Shen Mingshi, a senior researcher at Taiwan's Institute for National Defense and Security Research, agrees that BYD vehicles carry potential risks. He pointed to an incident last October, when several BYD owners in Australia posted online that their car system seemed to have a hidden backdoor. These owners suspected the manufacturer could eavesdrop on conversations through the in-car software. What made matters worse was that they couldn't find a way to disable the feature. Shen explained, finding the key chip or component responsible for this is nearly impossible. The manufacturers themselves might not even know where it's located or how it works. Even if you press every button, you can't guarantee the system is completely off. People need to realize that Chinese electronics often come with built-in backdoors designed to collect data on a massive scale and feed it to Chinese databases. He added, the only foolproof way to avoid this risk might be to not buy or use these vehicles at all. Shen also mentioned that last September, BYD recalled around 100,000 cars due to overheating capacitors that posed a fire risk. In his view, this shows that BYD still struggles with certain technical challenges.